The arrival. The translucent dome of Galactic University shimmered against the backdrop of a violet sky, its crystalline structures refracting the light of 3 distant suns. Sarah Chen stood at the base of the grand entrance, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. After months of rigorous tests, background checks, and cultural sensitivity training, she had finally arrived at the most prestigious center of learning in the known universe. As the first human exchange student to be accepted into Galactic University's advanced programs, Sarah felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She wasn't just here to learn, she was here to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. The doors before her parted with a soft hiss, revealing a bustling atrium teeming with life forms from across the galaxy. Sarah took a deep breath, adjusted her translator earpiece, and stepped inside. The cacophony of alien languages assaulted her senses, her translator working overtime to keep up with the myriad of conversations happening around her. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions moved through the space with practiced ease. Some floated on cushions of air, others slithered across the floor, and a few seemed to phase in and out of existence as they traveled. Sarah made her way to the central information kiosk, a holographic interface that adjusted its height and controls to accommodate each user. As she approached, the system scanned her biometrics and greeted her in perfect English. "Welcome, Sarah Chen of Earth. Your dormitory assignment is in Sector 7, Level 3, Room 42. Your orientation session begins in 30 standard minutes in Lecture Hall Alpha. Do you require guidance?" "No, thank you," Sarah replied, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I can find my way." As she navigated the winding corridors of the university, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the advanced technology surrounding her. Walls shifted and reconfigured themselves to optimize traffic flow, while personal force fields prevented accidental collisions between species with vastly different environmental needs. Upon reaching her assigned room, Sarah found herself face-to-face with her new roommate, a towering insectoid being with iridescent wing casings and compound eyes that seemed to take in every detail at once. "Greetings, Earth Dweller," the being clicked, its mandibles moving in what Sarah hoped was a friendly gesture. "I am Zixclick of the Hive Worlds. We are to share this living space for the duration of our studies." Sarah smiled, extending her hand before remembering the cultural briefing she'd received. Instead, she inclined her head slightly and replied, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Zixclick. I look forward to learning from each other." As Sarah settled into her new living quarters, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. It wasn't just Zixclick's compound eyes. There was a palpable sense of curiosity from every alien she encountered. Humans were still a relative novelty in galactic society, having only achieved faster-than-light travel a few decades ago. The orientation session was a whirlwind of information. Sarah found herself in a vast amphitheater surrounded by hundreds of new students from across the galaxy. The dean of the university, a being of pure energy contained within a hovering metallic sphere, welcomed them all. "Esteemed students," the dean's voice resonated through the hall, translated simultaneously into thousands of languages. "You represent the brightest minds from your respective worlds. Here at Galactic University, you will push the boundaries of science, philosophy, and understanding. Remember, knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied." As the dean spoke about the university's illustrious history and groundbreaking research, Sarah's attention was drawn to a group of students huddled near the front of the hall. They seemed to be in some sort of heated discussion, with one particular alien, a tall, willowy being with skin that shimmered like oil on water, gesticulating animatedly. After the orientation, Sarah made her way to the xenobiology department, where she was to meet her research advisor. As she approached the laboratory, she overheard snippets of conversation that made her pause. "Cannot believe they allowed a human into the advanced program," a voice hissed. "Their planet has barely mastered rudimentary space travel," another chimed in. "What could they possibly contribute to our research?" Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself before entering the lab. As the door slid open, all eyes, and various other sensory organs, turned to her. The willowy alien she had noticed earlier stepped forward, its skin rippling with what Sarah interpreted as disdain. "Ah, the human arise," it said, its tone dripping with condescension. "I am Professor Xizara, lead researcher in xenobiology. I trust you can keep up with our work, or at least try not to hinder our progress too much." Sarah felt a flash of anger, but kept her composure. "I assure you, Professor, I am here to contribute. Humanity may be new to the galactic stage, but we have much to offer." Xizara's skin flickered with amusement. "We shall see, human. We shall see." As Sarah was shown to her workstation, she couldn't help but feel a mix of determination and apprehension. She knew she would have to work twice as hard to prove herself, not just to her peers and professors, but to the entire galactic community. Little did Sarah know that in the coming weeks, her unique human perspective would be put to the test in ways she could never have imagined. The advanced xenobiology research team was on the verge of a breakthrough that would shake the foundations of the university and challenge the very notion of life itself. As she settled into her new routine of classes and research, Sarah found allies in unexpected places. Six-Click, her roommate, proved to be a valuable friend, offering insights into the complex social dynamics of the university. And there was Kral, a rock-like being from a high-gravity world, whose steady presence and dry humor helped Sarah navigate the often bewildering alien social scenes. Weeks passed, and Sarah began to make progress in her studies and research. Her natural human curiosity and ability to think outside the box, a trait that seemed less common among the more rigidly educated alien species, started to gain her reluctant respect from some of her peers. One day, as Sarah was poring over data from their latest experiment, Professor Xizara approached her workstation. "Human," Xizara began, its skin rippling with what Sarah had learned to recognize as a mix of reluctance and interest, "your analysis of the Zeta-9 protein folding sequence, it is not entirely without merit." Sarah looked up, surprised by the almost compliment. "Thank you, Professor. I noticed a pattern that reminded me of some Earth extremophiles. I thought it might be relevant." Xizara's skin shimmered thoughtfully. Perhaps there is something to be said for your species' unique perspective. We are about to begin a new phase of our research. I believe your input may be valuable." As Xizara explained the new project, an attempt to synthesize a new form of adaptive biomatter, Sarah felt a surge of excitement. This was her chance to prove herself, to show that humanity deserved its place among the stars. But as she delved deeper into the project, a nagging feeling of unease began to grow. The potential applications of this research were staggering, but so were the risks. As the team pushed the boundaries of what was possible, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were treading into dangerous territory. Little did she know that her instincts were right, and that the coming days would test her in ways she could never have imagined. The stage was set for a crisis that would shake Galactic University to its core, and humanity's place in the cosmos would hang in the balance. The quantum entanglement catastrophe. Sarah Chen wiped the sweat from her brow, her eyes fixed on the pulsating orb of energy suspended in the center of the lab. The air crackled with an otherworldly static, raising the hair on her arms. Around her, her alien classmates moved with practiced precision, adjusting dials and recalibrating sensors with appendages that defied human anatomy. Quantum stability at 87% and rising, Six-Click chittered, their compound eyes reflecting the swirling patterns of the energy sphere. "We're approaching the theoretical limit, Professor Xizara." The willowy alien professor's skin rippled with excitement, a kaleidoscope of colors dancing across their surface. "Excellent. Push it further. We're on the brink of a breakthrough that will revolutionize transdimensional physics." Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were playing with fire, or rather, given the alien nature of their experiment, something far more dangerous than mere combustion. "Professor," she ventured, "are you sure this is safe? The quantum fluctuations are becoming increasingly erratic." Xizara's skin flashed with annoyance. "Your human caution is noted, Sarah Chen, but unnecessary. Our calculations are flawless. But Sarah's gut told her otherwise. Her human intuition, so often dismissed by her alien peers, was screaming that something was wrong. She'd spent countless hours poring over the data, and there was a pattern emerging that nobody else seemed to notice, a fractal recursion in the quantum foam that hinted at catastrophic instability. "Kral," she whispered to her rock-like friend, "can you double-check the harmonic resonance of the containment field? I think we're missing something crucial." Kral's gravelly voice rumbled softly, "I trust your instincts, Sarah. Give me a moment." As Kral lumbered over to a nearby console, the energy orb began to pulse more rapidly. Tendrils of light lashed out, probing the edges of the containment field like tentacles testing the bars of a cage. Power levels exceeding 120% of projected maximum, an alarmed voice called out. Srizara's skin paled to a sickly gray. Impossible. The failsafes should have engaged by now. Sarah's mind raced. In that moment, her unique human perspective, shaped by centuries of science fiction and a cultural propensity for imagining worst-case scenarios, gave her an edge. She saw the cascading chain of events that was about to unfold with terrifying clarity. "It's a quantum entanglement cascade," she shouted, rushing towards the main power coupling. "The experiment has created a self-sustaining feedback loop. We need to cut the power now, or we risk a runaway reaction." But it was too late. With a sound that defied description, a screech that seemed to come from the fabric of reality itself, the energy orb exploded. The containment field shattered like glass, and a wave of pure quantum potential washed over the lab. Sarah felt herself lifted off her feet, her body tingling as if every atom was trying to occupy all possible states at once. Through the chaos, she saw her classmates affected in bizarre ways. Zixglik's body seemed to multiply, creating a fractal pattern of insectoid forms that stretched into infinity. Krell's rocky form liquefied and reformed in impossible geometries. In that moment of quantum uncertainty, Sarah's mind expanded. She saw glimpses of other realities, parallel universes where the experiment had gone differently. In one, the lab was a smoldering crater. In another, tentacled horrors from beyond space-time poured through a dimensional rift. With a Herculean effort of will, Sarah forced her consciousness to focus on this reality, this moment. She knew that the human mind, with its remarkable plasticity and ability to adapt to the impossible, might be their only hope. As she fell back to the ground, the quantum wave receding, Sarah realized that the danger was far from over. The lab was in ruins, alien technology sparking and sputtering. Several of her classmates lay unconscious, their bodies twisted into shapes that defied Euclidean geometry. But worse than the physical damage was the tear in reality that hovered where the energy orb had been. Through it, Sarah could see something. Shapes and colors that hurt her eyes to look at, suggestions of geometries that shouldn't exist. "By the galactic core," Kazizara whispered, their voice trembling. "What have we done?" Sarah staggered to her feet, her mind reeling but determined. "We've opened a door," she said, her voice stronger than she felt. "And now we need to close it before something comes through." As alarms blared and emergency containment protocols engaged, Sarah knew that this was more than just a lab accident. This was a moment that would define humanity's place in the universe. The aliens had unleashed this catastrophe with their advanced technology, but it would take human ingenuity and determination to fix it. "Professor," Sarah said, turning to the shaken Kazizara, "I have an idea, but you're not going to like it." The fate of Galactic University, and perhaps reality itself, now rested in the hands of a human exchange student from Earth. Sarah Chen was about to show the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of, for better or for worse. As the quantum rift pulsed ominously, Sarah steeled herself for the challenge ahead. It was time to prove that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology, but their audacious creativity in the face of the impossible. Quantum chaos and human ingenuity. The air in the lab crackled with otherworldly energy as Sarah Chen faced the pulsating quantum rift. Tendrils of impossible colors writhed at its edges, threatening to tear apart the very fabric of reality. Around her, alien students and professors lay incapacitated, their bodies warped by the unleashed quantum forces. "Professor HFY, Sarah called out, her voice steady despite the chaos. "We need to stabilize the rift before it expands. Can you access the university's main power grid?" The willowy alien, its skin now a sickly pallor of fear, nodded weakly. "Ah, yes. But what do you intend to do, human? Our most advanced containment protocols have failed." Sarah's mind raced, drawing on an unlikely combination of theoretical physics, Earth's pop culture, and sheer human audacity. "We're going to create a quantum siphon," she declared, already moving towards a damaged console. "Think of it like a cosmic vacuum cleaner, but for parallel realities." As she spoke, Sarah's fingers flew over the alien interface, her mind making intuitive leaps that bridged the gap between human understanding and alien technology. Years of binge-watching sci-fi shows and playing reality-bending video games had prepared her for this moment in ways no one could have predicted. "Zixiclick, I need you to recalibrate the harmonic resonators to match the rift's quantum frequency," Sarah ordered, her newfound confidence compelling obedience from her alien classmates. "Kral, your crystalline structure might be able to refract the quantum energies. I need you to position yourself as a living prism at these coordinates." The insectoid and rock-like beings moved to comply, their earlier skepticism of human abilities forgotten in the face of Sarah's decisive action. As the team worked feverishly, the quantum rift pulsed ominously. Strange, shadowy figures seemed to dance at its edges, hinting at eldritch horrors waiting to break through into our reality. The very air hummed with a discordant melody that set teeth on edge and threatened to unravel sanity. "Quantum siphon charging at 60%, Zara announced, its voice tinged with a mixture of fear and growing respect. "But the power draw is enormous. We risk overloading the entire galactic sector's grid." Sarah gritted her teeth, her human determination shining through. "We don't have a choice. If this rift expands, it won't just be the university at risk, it'll be the entire universe." Suddenly, a bolt of quantum lightning lashed out from the rift, narrowly missing Sarah and leaving a scorched trail of probability waves in its wake. The near miss sparked an idea in Sarah's mind, one so crazy, so uniquely human, that it just might work. "Quick, I need a quantum entanglement detector and a gravity inverter," she shouted, her eyes blazing with inspiration. As her alien colleagues scrambled to provide the requested items, Sarah began to explain her plan. "We're not just going to close the rift, we're going to turn it inside out. By inverting the gravity well and entangling it with its own quantum state, we can create a temporal Mobius strip that will cause the rift to consume itself." Professor Zara's skin rippled with a mixture of awe and disbelief. That's impossible. The mathematical complexity alone would take a supercomputer millennia to calculate." Sarah allowed herself a small, confident smile. "That's where you're wrong, Professor. Sometimes you don't need a supercomputer. Sometimes you just need a human brain that's watched way too many episodes of Doctor Who and played too much Portal." With a series of rapid-fire commands and adjustments, Sarah integrated her makeshift devices into the quantum siphon. The air around them began to shimmer and distort, as if reality itself was holding its breath in anticipation. "Activating quantum inversion in 3, 2, 1, now," Sarah yelled, slamming her hand down on the activation switch. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sound like the universe itself gasping in surprise, the quantum rift began to twist and contort. Its edges folded in on themselves, creating impossible geometries that hurt the mind to perceive. Slowly but surely, the rift started to shrink, consuming its own energy in a dazzling display of physics-defying spectacle. As the last vestiges of the rift winked out of existence, a stunned silence fell over the lab. Sarah stood at the center of it all, her hair wild and her eyes gleaming with the light of victory. Professor Cesaro was the first to break the silence. By all the stars in the galaxy, it breathed, its skin now a vibrant tapestry of awe and respect. You did it. You actually did it. Sarah allowed herself a moment to catch her breath, the full weight of what she'd accomplished beginning to sink in. We did it, she corrected, looking around at her alien classmates with a newfound sense of camaraderie. Human intuition and alien technology working together. As the emergency systems finally kicked in, bathing the ruined lab in a soft, healing light, Sarah realized that this was more than just averting a catastrophe. This was a turning point, not just for her, but for humanity's place in the galactic community. You know, Krell rumbled, his crystalline form still glowing faintly from its role in the quantum manipulation. I think we may have underestimated you humans. Sarah grinned, the adrenaline of their narrow escape still coursing through her veins. Oh, trust me, she said, her eyes twinkling with the promise of adventures to come. You haven't seen anything yet. As news of the incident spread through the university and beyond, Sarah knew that the real challenge was just beginning. Humanity had proven its worth in a crisis, but now they would have to navigate the complex political and scientific fallout of their quantum misadventure. One thing was certain, the galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. And Sarah Chen, the exchange student who had saved reality itself, was ready to show the universe just what humanity was capable of. Galactic fallout and the human factor. The aftermath of the quantum catastrophe at Galactic University sent shockwaves across the cosmos. Sarah Chen, once an overlooked human exchange student, now found herself at the center of a storm that threatened to reshape the very foundations of interstellar society. Breaking news: human student prevents multiversal collapse at Galactic University. The holographic headlines screamed across every corner of the known universe. Trillions of alien beings from countless worlds tuned in, their curiosity piqued by this unprecedented turn of events. Sarah stood before the Galactic Council, a grand amphitheater filled with representatives from every sentient species in the galaxy. The air buzzed with a mixture of excitement, fear, and skepticism. Sarah Chen of Earth boomed the voice of the Council Arbiter, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix. You stand before us as both savior and instigator. Your actions have averted a crisis of cosmic proportions, yet they have also exposed dangerous flaws in our most advanced institutions. What say you in your defense? Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of not just her own future, but that of all humanity resting on her shoulders. She thought back to all the late-night study sessions, the sci-fi marathons, the video game challenges that had unknowingly prepared her for this moment. Esteemed members of the council, she began, her voice clear and confident. What happened at Galactic University wasn't just a failure of alien technology or human recklessness. It was a wake-up call for all of us. A murmur rippled through the assembled aliens as Sarah continued, her words broadcast to every corner of the galaxy. For too long, we've relied on established knowledge and rigid thinking. But the universe doesn't care about our preconceptions. It demands creativity, adaptability, and the courage to think beyond our limits. Sarah's gaze swept across the chamber, meeting the eyes and other sensory organs of the council members. Humanity may be young in galactic terms, but we bring something unique to the table. We're dreamers, risk-takers, and out-of-the-box thinkers. Our greatest strength isn't our technology, it's our imagination. As she spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showcasing Earth's greatest achievements and wildest ideas. From the Apollo moon landings to quantum computing, from sci-fi visions of the future to breakthrough theories in physics, humanity's audacious spirit was on full display. The quantum rift incident proved that we need a new approach to understanding the universe, Sarah declared. One that combines the advanced knowledge of galactic civilization with the innovative spirit of humanity. Together, we can push the boundaries of what's possible and unlock the true potential of our cosmic community. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien voices, some supportive, others skeptical. But Sarah wasn't finished. With a gesture, she activated a device on her wrist, and suddenly the entire council chamber transformed. The walls dissolved into a swirling vortex of quantum probabilities. Council members found themselves floating in a sea of mathematical equations and theoretical models. It was a visual representation of Sarah's thought process during the crisis, a blend of advanced physics, pop culture references, and intuitive leaps that no eye could have predicted. "This is how we solved the impossible," Sarah explained, guiding the astonished council members through her mental landscape. "By embracing uncertainty, by daring to imagine the unimaginable. This is the human factor that could revolutionize galactic science and exploration." As the display faded and the chamber returned to normal, a hush fell over the assembled beings. The council arbiter's crystalline form pulsed with an intensity never before seen. "In all my eons," the arbiter spoke, its voice filled with wonder. "I have never witnessed such audacity, such potential for chaos, yet also for groundbreaking discovery." The tension in the chamber was palpable as the council deliberated. Sarah stood tall, ready to accept whatever verdict they reached. After what seemed like an eternity, the arbiter spoke again. "Sarah Chen of Earth, we have reached a decision. Your actions, while unorthodox, have demonstrated the unique value that humanity brings to our galactic community. Therefore, we hereby establish the Quantum Frontier Initiative, a new division of Galactic University dedicated to pushing the boundaries of transdimensional research, with you as its head." The chamber erupted in a mix of cheers, gasps, and excited chatter. Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. This wasn't just a personal victory, it was a game-changer for humanity's role in the galaxy. As the council session concluded, Sarah found herself surrounded by a diverse group of alien scientists, all eager to join her new initiative. Among them were familiar faces, Zixclick, Kral, and even Professor Xizara, their earlier skepticism replaced by genuine respect and excitement. "So, quantum pioneer," Xizara's skin rippled with anticipation. "What impossible challenge shall we tackle next?" Sarah grinned, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Well, Professor," she said, her eyes twinkling with the promise of adventures to come, "I was thinking we might start with unraveling the mysteries of dark matter. Unless, of course, you think that's too ambitious for a bunch of humans and their alien friends." As laughter and excited chatter filled the air, Sarah knew that this was just the beginning. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not through conquest or advanced technology, but through the power of imagination and the courage to dream big. The Quantum Frontier Initiative was about to rewrite the rules of reality itself, and Sarah Chen, the human who dared to think the unthinkable, was leading the charge into a future filled with endless possibilities. The multiverse nexus, humanity's quantum leap. 6 months after the establishment of the Quantum Frontier Initiative, Galactic University's newest research facility hummed with an energy that defied conventional physics. At its heart stood Sarah Chen, the human who had turned a catastrophe into a cosmic breakthrough. "All right, team, let's make history. Again." Sarah's voice rang out across the quantum-entangled communication network, reaching her diverse crew of researchers scattered across multiple dimensions. The initiative's magnum opus was about to be unveiled, the Multiverse Nexus, a groundbreaking project that promised to revolutionize interdimensional travel and communication. Zixclick's mandibles clicked excitedly as they manipulated holographic controls. "Quantum coherence at 99.9%. We're ready to initiate the Nexus, Sarah." Krell's gravelly voice rumbled through the comlink, crystalline matrix stabilized. "Standing by for dimensional anchor deployment." Even Professor Xizara, now Sarah's trusted advisor, couldn't hide the shimmer of anticipation rippling across their skin. "All safety protocols are green. It's now or never, Quantum Pioneer." Sarah took a deep breath, her mind flashing back to that fateful day in the lab. How far they'd come since then, from averting disaster to standing on the brink of the greatest scientific achievement in galactic history. Initiating multiverse nexus in 3, 2, 1, activate. A blinding flash of light erupted from the center of the facility, temporarily overloading even the most advanced alien visual sensors. As the glow faded, a sight beyond imagination materialized before them. The multiverse nexus hung suspended in mid-air, a swirling vortex of cosmic energy, its surface a kaleidoscope of realities bleeding into one another. Through it, glimpses of alternate Earths, alien worlds, and even abstract dimensions fitted in and out of view. By the galactic core, Kaizara whispered, their voice filled with awe, "You've actually done it. You've created a stable gateway between universes." Sarah grinned, her eyes reflecting the swirling energies of the Nexus. "We've done it, Professor. Human audacity and alien wisdom, the perfect cosmic cocktail." But their celebration was short-lived. Suddenly, alarms blared across the facility. The Nexus pulsed erratically, its energies fluctuating wildly. "We've got a problem," Krell shouted over the comlink. Unknown entities attempting to breach the Nexus from multiple realities. Sarah's mind raced. This was the moment she'd prepared for, the ultimate test of human ingenuity in the face of cosmic chaos. Zixiclick, initiate quantum firewall protocols. Krell, reinforce the dimensional anchors. Kagizawa, we need to modulate the Nexus frequency to repel the incursion. As her team sprang into action, Sarah dove into the facility's mainframe, her consciousness merging with the quantum eye she developed. In this state, she could perceive the multiverse in its entirety, an infinite tapestry of realities, each thread representing a universe. She saw them then, shadowy entities of pure chaos, slipping between the fabric of realities, drawn to the Nexus like moths to a flame. They were the stuff of cosmic nightmares, beings that defied classification in any known scientific system. "Oh no, you don't," Sarah muttered, her merged consciousness reaching out across the quantum field. "This is humanity's moment, and we're not about to let some interdimensional party crashers ruin it." With a thought, she reconfigured the Nexus, turning its energy inward. The swirling vortex began to pulse rhythmically, each beat sending out waves of orderly quantum fluctuations. "What are you doing?" Lizara's panicked voice cut through her concentration. "Fighting chaos with chaos," Sarah replied, a hint of excitement in her voice. "These entities thrive on disorder, so we're going to give them a taste of humanity's secret weapon, organized chaos." As the Nexus pulsed, the invading entities recoiled. The quantum waves washed over them, forcing them into patterns they couldn't comprehend. It was like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube that constantly changed colors, a uniquely human form of torment. One by one, the shadowy beings retreated, slipping back into the cracks between realities. The Nexus stabilized, its swirling energies settling into a harmonious flow. As Sarah's consciousness returned to her body, she was met with a stunned silence from her team. Did we just defeat interdimensional invaders with the power of human unpredictability? Zixclick finally chittered, their compound eyes wide with disbelief. Sarah laughed, the adrenaline of their cosmic victory still coursing through her veins. "Welcome to the human experience, my friends. Chaotic on the surface, but with an underlying method to our madness." As the implications of their achievements sank in, the facility erupted in cheers. They hadn't just created a gateway between universes, they'd successfully defended it against forces beyond comprehension. News of the multiverse nexus and humanity's role in its creation spread across the galaxy at quantum speeds. Overnight, Earth went from a backwater planet to the focal point of galactic attention. Standing before the stabilized nexus, Sarah addressed her team and the countless beings watching across the cosmos. "Today, we've proven that the greatest frontiers aren't just out there in space, but in here," she said, tapping her temple. The human imagination, combined with the wisdom of our galactic friends, has unlocked the doorway to infinite possibilities. She gestured towards the swirling portal, its surface now calm and inviting. The multiverse nexus isn't just a scientific achievement, it's a challenge to every sentient being in every reality. To explore, to dream, to imagine the impossible and then make it happen. As Sarah's words echoed across dimensions, a new era dawned for humanity and their alien allies. The age of quantum exploration had begun, with humanity leading the charge into the unknown. The galaxy watched in anticipation, wondering what these audacious humans would dream up next. Because if there's one thing Sarah Chen and her team had proven, it's that in the face of cosmic impossibilities, sometimes the craziest idea might just be crazy enough to work. And as the multiverse nexus hummed with the promise of endless adventure, one thing was certain: the universe would never be the same again.